from Georgia is recognized for 4 minutes.
I thank the gentlewoman for yielding, and I want to just say at the outset I have a number of problems with this, but in terms of bringing up Mr. Paulson, I did not vote for the first TARP program, nor did I vote for the second one, but at least Mr. Paulson did pay his taxes, and I think most Americans know that we have a man in charge of the Treasury who was appointed by Mr. Obama who did not pay his taxes, and to hold him up as a standard over and over again I think is ironic for the Democrat Party. In fact, if I was a member of the Democrat Party, I'd have a little squeamishness myself before I embrace Mr. Geithner and all of the wonderful things that you believe he's going to do for this country. Having said that, even though he did not pay his taxes, I hope he is successful because we need to turn the economy around, and the Republican Party certainly is going to help any way we can and work on a bipartisan basis to do that. I have some real concerns about H.R. 1664, however. Number one, the institutions who signed up for it understood that there were certain rules that they would abide by, certain understandings, and now that has changed, that this is going back and making the rules different for them. And that is one of the things that this administration is most guilty of, I think, is constantly changing the rules. The market needs to react. If the market knows the rules are here, or they're here, or they're left, or they're right, but they're poured in concrete, then the market can start making adjustments. But as it is, this Congress is obsessed with each week reading a new poll and coming out with a new rule. And because of that instability, the market will never normalize. The market has to become comfortable with the rules so that they can adjust and live in that environment. But if we keep changing them, we are still going to have instability in the market. Secondly, this is overly broad. It applies to all employees rather than the top executives. And I know that many in the Democrat Party see this as a delicious opportunity to beat up on executives, successful people who pay high taxes, the rich and the wealthy who seem to be so maligned by the left. But this applies to all employees. Now, the gentleman mentioned that there might be a Cardozo amendment that's going to make some changes in this, maybe eliminate some of the companies that would be qualified for it. I'm interested in that amendment and look forward to that debate. Number three, this is really all about AIG and the fact that Mr. Dodd, the Democrat chairman of the Senate Banking Committee, had taken out the language which was put in by Republican Olympia Snowe that would have eliminated the AIG bonuses. Mr. Dodd purposely, under the instruction, according to him, not me, under the instruction of the Obama administration, took that out. So now we're crawfishing. Now, I'm not sure if you have crawfish out in Colorado, my friend, but crayfish, either way, but you know how they swim. When they're scared, they put the tail in, they go backwards. And I think there are members of the Democrat Party right now who are crayfishing or crawfishing. And they're doing it for Mr. Dodd's politics. Nobody in the House was aware of that negotiation or the language, but I think this is all about AIG, and this is a political decision. You know, we've got a really smart administration right now, one that on the side of fighting a war can turn around the car industry, can turn around the banking industry, turn around the insurance industry, and guarantees us the efficiency of the post office, and FEMA as an end result is the standard that we got to live by. But I think this is a bill that actually has some good intentions, something that we're all frustrated about. We do not want to reward inefficiency, but unfortunately, the government and these companies got in bed together, and now they're trying to live in that framework, and the government keeps changing the rules.
Gentleman's time has expired.
Madam Speaker, I'd be happy to give the gentleman 2 more minutes.
Gentleman's recognized for 2 minutes.
I thank the gentlewoman, and just want to say this. You know, one of the things that Mr. Geithner recently announced is this public-private partnership to buy the toxic assets, now legacy assets of banks. And the idea is to get the public and sector and the private sector to take all this bad real estate off the books of financial institutions so that we can get a bottom, so that we can get a market, so that we can get them off the taxpayers. But unfortunately, if you're a public and a private kind of entrepreneur who might want to put together a deal like this, you're saying, you know, do I really want to do this when the government's going to come back and change my compensation? I think most people would say, you know, if these folks actually have to make as much money as some of the leading Democrats of the world, like Barbara Streisand and some of the big George Soros, some of the big donors in your area, you know, if we have to pay them, but they can do the job right, they can turn around AIG, which I think probably is too late for that, maybe it's worth it. Because after all, we're paying a lot of people to play professional sports and to star in movies and things like that. So maybe it's worth it to pay people high salaries to turn around the financial institutions, which have a ripple effect throughout our housing and our credit system and our banking system, and things that, you know, it might be something that we should do. But I just think that this bill is a politically motivated bill and not a sound economic bill in the current situation. So with that, I yield the balance of my time and certainly appreciate the gentlewoman for yielding. Thank you.
Gentleman yields his time.